Hello, my family. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Of course, the place where we bring Africa live to whosoever you dare around the globe. Of course, today we're very much delighted for bring come to our very special program right from our studio now, so now studio number 8. And of course, I know say whosoever you dare enjoy our programs them. So we appreciate you for all of that, and we appreciate you for all the comments that we send to we. Of course, then comments then they don't help we for improve on the services what would they provide. With me today in the studio now the young generation leader of the SLPP North America region. Of course, you know say SLPP North America region now the financial backbone of SLPP as a political party, and of course then they play a very strategic role for able for march back to State House now Sierra Leone. And of course, on the line also we get some of the other strategic people, young people in SLPP now North America. Then they on the line on the phone. They all get for talk to we today. But I go on for start with the leader of the young generation in North America, we now Mr. Mohamed Bah. Of course, for plenty of unawo na no sabi Mr. Mohamed Bah. Mr. Mohamed Bah, plenty people that can talk say then surprise when they see him politics because na man a movie actor. Now that one they will be known for. Now man, it don't act plenty Sierra Leonean movies. It don't act movies with Nigerians. It don't go na the all the side Nigerian top movie actors. Then they get in your non-profit foundation at Sierra Leone. So now big time guy we SLPP they don't capture. I don't know how they're able to capture this guy for Canadian fold, but this is the kind of man we they lead the SLPP young generation. Of course, the other man they back with the work with them. We get them on the line, it can introduce them on another tough man. So it looked like say SLPP ready for take over the mantle of leadership in Sierra Leone, but because of the caliber of people that we get. So Mr. Bah, welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. I'm so honored for that warm, how do I describe it? That warm introduction. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And I'm very humble for dinner. Also, I get with me on the line because we're not able to conference everybody in. We Secretary of the Young Generation Wing, Mr. Hindolo Bannett from New Jersey.
Right.
And of course, we Acting Finance Secretary, Mr. Senesi Sama from Northern California.
Right.
And we also get the Southern California Young Generation Leader, Mr. Yaya Tijan. We now strategic advisor. They're all day online with we at the studio right now, but of course meeting at the studio with you now. And like I say again, I'm very humble. We are very thankful for the way we talk to with Salon people then today.
Right, so this is very good. And so let me start with Hindolo Bannett, one of the Secretary General of the SLPP North America Young Generation. Mr. Bannett, how you do? And you want to say hello to family them?
Yes, good evening to you. My name is Hindolo Bannett. We're glad for you on the line.
Right. Of course, we get Mr. Senesi Sama, one of the Acting Financial Secretary of the Young Generation, SLPP North America. Mr. Sama, how you do? You want to say hello to family them?
Oh, yes, I do fine. Thank you very much for the introduction. And then I just want to say hello to everybody who they listen to we. And we're very grateful and thankful for we getting on with Sarah right now. For whether they give we is, I mean there is to we, for if we able to say we party to them and we ideas them.
That's good, that's good. Of course, we get no less a person but Mr. Yaya Tijan, we're the young generation leader in Southern California and also strategic advisor to the young generation. Mr. Tijan, how you do, brah? You get anything for you?
I do great. I just want to say thanks and the family in Akushe, Cabo, I do for all the hard work they do for this SLPP. We will continue, so in 3 months, we'll be leading the Freetown in Sierra Leone as a group.
Amen.
Right. I want to thank you to your own group and Mr. Bah for bringing me in.
Right. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. Of course, as we know, plenty of people that they look up to the Sierra Leone People's Party for form the next government in Sierra Leone. So, in fact, other people and they will not understand too much about SLPP young generation? Because in the past, people don't associate young people too much with SLPP. But we're not in the best position for talk about that. And that make I bring in Mr. Mohamed Bah for let give me an idea about the structure of the SLPP young generation. How SLPP young generation fit into SLPP as a structure? Because plenty of people that feel say young people not get no role for playing SLPP. Tell me something about that.
Thank you again very much for that question. Well, let me start by saying this. You see, one of the best things about the SLPP, we make it completely distinguished from other political parties. We founding fathers, they introduced the young generation wing. As compared to other political parties, they will get youth wing. Now, why then choose the young generation?
Right.
They choose the young generation because, number one, now the place where the party able to train young minds for take leadership after where people they are retired. Now, if you brought that a little bit, now a training ground. When you said youth, then you don't begin associate age to youth. But when you say young generation, we're talking about the young people to be part of it. In other words, when you look at the symbol of the party when at the pantry, the young one in the ground at the middle of the tree will represent the old way they are around, where they protect them. So in that context, the young generation wing is the building block of the future leaders, not just for the Sierra Leone People's Party, but for Sierra Leone as a whole.
Right.
You know.
And so, so Mr. Bah, talk to me small about, you know, the young generation. I mean, the SLPP North America region, because now to this region, the SLPP young generation belong. So, plenty of people that can say SLPP North America region are the 5th region of the SLPP. How did that come about?
Well, if my history serves me right, this was approved by the national body of the Sierra Leone People's Party back home to make this region as the 5th region of the Sierra Leone People's Party. So we are part of the national body in Sierra Leone.
Right.
Now, as a young generation wing, we are part of the national executive in North America. So we don't operate outside of that confines. So we are part of that wing. We take, of course, we take our instruction from the national chairman and also our regional chairman. So we are all together as one.
Okay.
You know, so we get a lot of chapters across the region, and we're doing fine.
Okay, so you know, make I bring you man them inside. Of course, make I start with you, Secretary General, Mr. Hindolo Barnett. Mr. Barnett, I know say in the past summer, the SLPP Young Generation Wing been get a National Youth Conference na Phoenix, Arizona. You go able to give me a background as to what that whole you know, conference be there about? What be the purpose of that conference?
Yeah, actually, thank you. The conference, you know, the region as a whole, North America, they allocate one event we can do a year. So we choose for that conference. Now, Phoenix, Arizona, we basically just so we get young people in, you know, young mindset that are the party, we discuss issues in. We face the young generation and youth in general as a salon. So we get different speakers and we you know, talk on topics that would affect we as youth and you know, we really want to get more involved. You know, instead of before, you know, we talk about politics. When they come, you get politicians that will come and, you know, give some money to youth and we then go and campaign for them. This one for take the leading role, because we know see, whatever they happen at the country, now we get for effect more. So we really want to take that leading role there and discuss policies and not only discuss, come up with solutions on this, whatever we don't discuss, and we make sure see the big one they know that this will affect you, that this will have for see change. So those were the conference we'll do, and it was very successful.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. Yes, I happen for on day another conference as well, so I see waiting go on. So make a talk to Senesi. Senesi, I know say you now the acting financial secretary of the SLPP Young Generation. In fact, you don't participate plenty per Young Generation business. What thing you go able for tell with family about waiting at the hope will lie in the youths of the SLPP, which can hope you go able, if like youths then they already can listen to you, and they not be don't associate themselves with the SLPP, which can hope you go give hope message you go give them.
Well, thank you very much for the question, Mr. Sheriff. Like what Mohamed will say, that conference they will be holding in Phoenix back in July, I believe. That conference, we come up with ideas for where we come up with ideas and ways and we will get young minds involved into this SLPP party and which SLPP will do for them. And one of the hopes that when we see, say, we do for the young man within the SLPP party, I mean, what SLPP will provide for young people in that salon is that opportunity for education, job creation, create job for the young people there. And we emphasize, we don't allow young people then for the a toy for the politicians there. When they want campaign for them, they use them for go spread violence and all that stuff. So that one of the key points in that way we really emphasize on say, let me make sure that we young man and all the hard work politicians there for they pay them as the only means where they will get income by doing things that we not approve, we don't put for the country itself as a whole. So the hope we see for the young people in that salon is that with SLPP then in power, we definitely get to make SLPP get to make the young man then a point of focus where they will give them education opportunity and job opportunity. The one that we don't go through, we don't complete the course there. Opportunity go there for them. Now that we try to push for. And that the basis of the young generation will be, and that will try to push empowerment of young people then.
Right. Of course, I know say Mr. Yaya Tijan, you served there on the line, and you being the strategic advisor to the young generation. I know we don't want for me you tell we all the strategies then we they give the young generation for me they win election good, so may they not steal the ideas from una for win the election. But waiting at some of the things that way you go tell we that when the young generation do we go able for entice, motivate and inspire young people and for able for come on board and be with SLPP.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. Well, as you know, young people, we have a lot of young people outside of Sierra Leone, outside of United States. My job, my advice, we have to recruit more bright, young, and energy young people that will be part of SLPP group. Because sometimes the negative out there is the young people that they cause trouble, and the young people then they fight and destroy. One show a proof for say we the young one we built, one make better Sierra Leone, not just SLPP. So my own advice to my own leader, Mr. Bah, and the other leader them, I will try for spread SLPP, even if we're able to 50 states in South America and make North America stronger. So we will help SLPP in Sierra Leone, Freetown, Northern provinces and everything, financially, physically. Like in March, I know the new body for the election, pulling them. So if we will be strong by number, we will be able to go back there, stand there, make sure the election go proper and everything serve well. So that's one of the few things where may they try to pass on to all the young generation leader who we get now, and try for recruit more and for growth, and then we will build better SLPP and better Sierra Leone.
Right. Yeah, that's good talk. Good talk. So, Mr. Bennett, talking to you as the young generation Secretary General, I know say you don't get some idea about waiting at the control where we not get over young people that inside the party, and waiting at some of the strategies where the young generation gets for bring more people in, because I know say after where the APC that began for single-handedly choose the presidential candidate and running mates, we see plenty APC young man and they cross over to SLPP. Now, how are not able for for keep that kind of influx when they come inside the party? Waiting at some of the strategies then we will not get for able for really get control over young people that way they come.
Yeah, the strategy for the young people or young adults in general. Obviously, the party itself, to me, one question I asks, we brothers and sisters, especially the young one, them, why SLPP? If you look at the history of, the political parties in our salon, SLPP is a unique party. We don't get a history. It will talk for itself. And now the only party where I can, talk boldly, really care for the people then. And why make us say so? When you look at we policies and anything with our power, we get policies that we take care of with the people and also the future generation, and make we insist on education and health. So to me, what you're gonna show them right now, which I was there in March, and I talked to a lot of young people then. The party where anybody will come in power will not take, no say we can get some statistics and say people are tribalistic party, but when you really watch the history, it's not true. Whether we can anybody get a fair chance for survive, for get a living, for go college, get scholarship and get a job. So to me, like I say, we don't really need for do much, we only for sell with party. One thing we need for be united. We need for get more people who will be more vocal. And at the party itself, for give chance for young people and excel and be in a position, we then go able for talk as young man and young woman then. And also that's another thing we try for do. We make sure we go back the woman then, because we are the women's wing at the party, but as a culture until we young sisters and they can be left out. So the young generation wing right now, with the young generation leader that's Sierra Leone Mogoa are working very hard to get also young women involved, and they meet on a daily basis. And I can tell you, say, when you gonna talk really, young man and young woman don't really tell the system as well. And just want to tell people that this election will be kind of new election for win, because if we mistake APC kind of power back, and we get for so far, we don't see the policies that they make, wouldn't they really, for young people, not good for we. Look how many people who don't come out of college, we don't know forget job just because of maybe the last so you come out or that thing like that. We don't want that. They said people will never do things like that. Right. Policies that we get now, policies that we for the country as a whole, and for develop we as young people. And I'm glad for flag that we don't get. I watch all the so I possibly believe in those things and believe in the young people. Right. So we just need for continue for sell the party and what SLPP is. And one country, one people, we try to bring everybody together.
Right. Yeah, and so that brings me to Senesi. Of course, Senesi, you are the acting financial secretary of the SLPP, and politics is money. And I know say young people, and I want to get the vibrancy, the energy, for do things then. When I get any plans so far, I want for me to tell you the details of the plans, how to raise money for the party. When our opponents they're not able to steal the idea. But when I get any plans in the making as to you get confident for say SLPP go able to forget the kind of money we need for able for use and the national campaign, so we able when I go able for win the state house.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But when it comes to finances, that's not something that we will, especially when we deal with election as big as the one would come up for Salon, especially at the national level. So since we got an executive board now at the Northern California, Northern America chapter region, that decision that we didn't make at that level. But as far as the young generation, which we were able to do for influence the young generation, and that we're able to partake by the election and bring out a positive outcome to the party, is that we did try for, like you say, we don't want to give out any strategic ideas, but we did try for empower the young people and give them means, if not transportation, we did try for sponsor for them, or if we will get people then at the polling stations on election day, so make sure see everything will go accordingly. If not, one of the things that they with a target for trap for sponsor, now the idea is that we will get within the young generation. We will go with meetings that will discuss how we're able to get the young people that are involved in this election, and like you said, everything and money. So we'll also try to come up with ways that will fundraisers, if not dance, just ways of coming up with money. If not phone calls, so we have to call people then tell and say, may they donate to the young generation wing, or we get for tax itself. These are all ideas that we have come up with. These are all different ways. But from the election itself is the whole new monster that needs to be targeted by everybody who's the SLPP supporter.
Right.
That is not to one particular wing where we do it. Not everybody will involved with SLPP. If now you $2, $3 you will give to the party for when we win that election, if not that you get for take, let we do it. That we need push. That we need to do as SLPP people. That we need everybody will be part of SLPP for do their part. May they give what they get to give towards the election.
Right. So in essence, you say the party get confidence for say go get the kind money we need for able for win State House, right?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Okay. So Mr. Tijan, strategic advisor, we don't want most of the strategies, but if I can ask you, for able for tell me this. Where the SLPP, let us assume say SLPP don't win election now, SLPP don't form the next government at the country. Waiting now the number one strategy where if you say this party for adopt, for able for encourage young people and for stay within the party, may they not go no side, may they stay within the party, because then say the day where you win the election, now the day you for begin the campaign for the next election. So what would be that strategy?
Well, I think for the young people there, we will just ask the leader for involve a lot of young people there, give them job, part of the government, plug them into different areas where they go involve, most learning and develop and mature. We have a lot of young generation, educated people, well smart, can be able to build and help Sierra Leone. Me feel say that's one of our key. If we win and when we win, we'll have with leader for involved with in all aspects of the parliament and everything, any role that we can do, not just allow the older one and the young one we need to take action today and prepare to build a better Sierra Leone for the future. Right.
All right, guys. So definitely, I want to tell una plenty thank you for conversation. Me and Mr. Bah get for continue now for holy conversation. But definitely, I know say una they work very hard. I know say una they put a lot of efforts into making sure that SLPP becomes the next government at Sierra Leone. So for that, as Sierra Leoneans, we want to say plenty thank you to una for that. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. We appreciate you.
Right. All right. And so now me and Mr. Bah get for talk now exclusively about most of these things. Let me begin from the term where APC then appoint a presidential candidate and running mate, right? Dr. Samura Kamara and Cherry Coco. immediately after that, we see a large number of youths, especially in Aput Loko, they don't vex, then they are against APC, they say they're all the kind of SLPP. So if I can ask you for comment on that, as young generation, these are young people, when they come, they want to see them kind. You be not able to communicate with the young generation when in Sierra Leone, and what thing they be do for receive them young people in there?
Well, you know, you make a laugh.
Right?
You see, just like you say, when you look at that convention where APC hold, it clearly tell you the difference between the SLPP and the APC.
Right.
In the SLPP, this is not to me to make this up. The whole of Salone see how we conduct with convention. Before we even select with flag bearer, the SLPP hold elections across the whole of Sierra Leone.
Right.
When we finish with that, in fact, even when we conduct with forced election, people they even protested some of the areas that are the north. They say, oh no, we need for redo them. Guess what? We'll redo them back. We go back na a convention. We get about 11 candidates. We did the right thing, which is a clean, free, and fair democratic process to elect with flag bearer. Waiting at the try for express. At the try for express, say for the any country go before. For the any young man get future, right? You get to be part of a political party. We believe in democracy. Now, in the APC, the All People's Congress, it's just unbelievable. The first thing we president do before they hold them convention,
Right.
smartly, but to some of us, I not really say was smart, it makes sure say they elect him as chairman for life. Then they come together after we don't raise everybody in hope. The income is select. What thing are they try for the way people don't understand is this.
So you try to get that power they force.
Yes, when you do that, the politics, when you begin select, then I will tell you say don't go select for we people then back. Is this the kind of life young man don't want for live in a salon? Is this the future of salon?
But Mr. Bah, the question was, what you wanna do as SLPP young generation for receive the young people that will be vexed with and come?
Okay.
When I put down under them, because SLPP is a traditional party, or you get stranger, you get for put down under them.
Well, okay. I'm not being just one answer that part is just too quick.
You want to introduce some first.
I want the people to understand why them people are beginning to
I'm the one for no see Mr. Bah being movie actor.
So what I try for say is this. Me and the national young generation leader, Mr. Mogua, and of course the Secretary General Emerson Camara, we are very, very tight.
Okay.
Right now, all doors are open to receive the APC young mandate. But you see, this election with the come, Mr. Sheriff, with all due respect, let's face it, when you look at Salone, the population of Salone, 70% is made up by young people.
Right.
But if APC don't begin select people that way for be the head, you tell me how somebody we brilliant, we can do the job. You tell me how it will rise up to the rank if you don't know somebody, not by merit.
Right.
So this is not a bad precedent right there then set. Okay. Right now, me as I sit in this studio, and of course, like I tell you, so we national young generation leader, they accept people then. Me, they ask the young man them within an APC, with all due respect for ask themselves this question. Do you think you are in a democratic party? And if the answer is yes, why will you let an individual to select for you? You see, with the SLPP, and this now I want the people to know, we believe in decentralization of government, where the people they make decision. Because when you look SLPP, all the good things will don't happen as Salone. Today people they feel say we the part of the problems in a Salone. Now we create the better life of Salone. We the SLPP, and this now I want the people to understand the difference. Just give me a little time, Mr. Sheriff. When countries them in the fight in Africa for get independent, we chief them, depart them, then come together. Then bring all the brains that we can think of Nasalo. They make sure so we put a very thorough statement to British colonial masters them. It took us 10 years because they found the SLPP in 1951. It took me 10 years. We able for secure independence without one single life loss. And when we do that, when they give independent, we build secondary schools across the whole country. We build hospitals. Every major district get major hospitals. We connect all the roads in the country. In fact, under Sambangura, when I've been the governor, we keep the loans at 75 cents to $1. Today, under the APC, we're talking about 700 and something thousand. Okay, when Tijan Kaba came, after we the war, we were in a war, Tijan Kaba came with all the trouble we don't go through. The SLPP, we end the war. And we not just end the war, we retrain the whole police force, the military. We rebrand the whole country. We ask for international community for you with debt free, all kind of things. We take the country back. We hand over under Timu Bangura, right?
As Minister of
Finance, right? He hold the loans at 3,500 loans, right? I believe say the APC,
300,000 for $100.
Yes, I believe say the APC.
Well, it was almost 800. Right? Yeah.
Guess what? But if you cannot hold the economy of the country, the thing the sky right, what will make you feel say we become?
So in other words, in other words, you did tell the youths there we be calm, we come out from the APC, come inside SLPP at a time where the president we have single-handedly appoints Dr. Samura Kamara as the presidential candidate. We then vex, we then come over for say they don't come at the right place because now so hope they are. Is that what you are trying to say?
And exactly what they try to say. In other words, me they reach out to we APC and other political party brothers then for say, if you believe in change, if you want to make a difference, that's alone, can't join with party, the Sierra Leone People's Party when SLPP. And I will tell you some people they can make confusion with this back and forth of APC and SLPP. When Samuel Timagai take over as the Prime Minister, as Prime Minister in 1961, when he addressed Sierra Leoneans then to the nation, he talked to all the Peking the way they school and the young man at that time did. He said, them don't do them best for secure independence. Then they hand over traditions and values we could change the life of Sierra Leoneans then for many generations to come.
Right.
But unfortunately, some of the Peking the way did that time, the way today, and then the lead we don't disappoint we. You understand? So now it makes some of the young people and don't frustrate so much they feel SLPP is also part of that problem.
When I brother you talk about so but anyway
when now the big man now they run the country. Right. But these things people don't know. And Ibrahim, let me say this, Mr. Sheriff.
Right.
In the past, there was a lot of opportunities in Asalo, but we have less accessibilities to things. Today, there is a lot of accessibilities, but less opportunities.
Okay.
And the future of Salone is so bleak that if we don't put the right people in office, when
so in your opinion, Julius Madabio is currently the presidential candidate of the SLPP. So in your opinion, he's the best person for able to move this country forward.
And I will tell you why. Yes. This, with all fairness, with people that would watch this broadcast.
Right.
You see, any job, any office, where you don't sit on an office, you walk in that office day. You know exactly what's in that office day. You are completely different from anybody who never enter that office day. Waiting at the try for the people to understand how is this. Among all the candidates that we salute today, we say they want to be president. The only person among them we don't be president. Now, retired Brigadier Julius Madaglu.
Right.
You cannot compare that experience to anybody who never sit on that office. Okay? Now, forget about that experience. How many people are Salone before the war?